My name is Nathan. I'm 31 years old, just an ordinary guy with a decent job, a small circle of close friends, and a family I always thought was rock solid. I wasn't rich or famous or particularly extraordinary, but I had something most people spend their whole lives chasing: trust, love, a sense of home. Or at least I thought I did. I used to believe fairy tales were for kids. That was before I met Claire. With her, life wasn't just good. It was something out of the pages of a book I never thought I'd get to live. Every morning, waking up next to her felt like hitting the jackpot all over again. I still remember the first time she said, "I love you." We were sitting in my crappy old Toyota after a late night drive, eating greasy fast food and laughing about something stupid. She suddenly went quiet, stared at me with those big brown eyes and just said it. No big speech, no drama. Just, "I love you, Nate." Simple, real. And in that moment, I knew there was no one else for me. There would never be. After we got married, our lives blended together in the easiest way. Saturday mornings meant pancakes. Hers always burned a little, mine always way too undercooked, but we laughed about it and ate them anyway. Sunday afternoons meant lying in bed, tangled in sheets and dreams and silly conversations about the future, where we'd live, how many kids we wanted, how we'd grow old together, sitting on a porch somewhere, watching the world go by. Even the ordinary moments felt extraordinary with Claire. Grocery shopping became an adventure. Picking out paint colors for our tiny living room became a passionate debate that ended in a tickle fight on the floor. Every glance, every touch, every stupid inside joke, they built a fortress around us, a place where nothing bad could ever touch us. Liam was a huge part of that world too. He was more than my brother. He was my best friend, my role model, my North Star. Growing up, I had always chased after him, trying to be as good, as strong, as fearless as he was. When I introduced Claire to him, it felt like introducing two parts of myself that had never met. Watching them laugh together, teasing me, ganging up on me with their wicked sense of humor, it made me feel proud. It was like I had found the two people who knew me best and loved me most. What could possibly go wrong? One night, about 6 months into our marriage, Claire and I hosted a small dinner party. Nothing fancy, just close friends and family. Liam and Melissa came, of course. Claire had spent all afternoon stressing over the menu, cursing the oven when the roast burned, laughing at herself while shoving another bottle of wine into the fridge. When everyone sat down to eat, Claire was radiant. Her laugh was contagious, her smile brighter than the fairy lights we'd strung across the backyard. Liam kept cracking jokes, making everyone roar with laughter, and every time Claire laughed, she'd glance over at me with that look, the one that said, "This is our life. We made this." At the end of the night, after everyone left, Claire and I sat on the porch swing, exhausted but happy. She leaned into me, barefoot, hair messy, still wearing the apron she forgot to take off. "We're building something beautiful, Nate," she whispered. I kissed her forehead, feeling an overwhelming rush of gratitude. "Yeah," I said, "we are." Those were the moments I clung to, the little promises hidden inside everyday life. The way she'd absent-mindedly reach for my hand while crossing the street, the way she'd turn to me first when something funny happened, wanting to share it with me, the way she couldn't fall asleep without wrapping her leg over mine, claiming her space. Claire wasn't just my wife, she was my safe place, and Liam, he was family. The kind of family you'd run into burning buildings for without a second thought. One weekend, Liam and I went on a hiking trip, just the two of us. A brother's getaway, we called it. We spent hours talking around the campfire, sharing beers, throwing rocks into the river. At one point, Liam clapped me on the back and said, "You did good, Nate. Claire's a catch. You're lucky, man." I smiled, feeling a swell of pride. "I know," I said. I didn't know back then how deeply those words would later carve themselves into my soul, like a wound that never quite heals. If you had asked me then to list the things I was most certain of in life, I would have said, Claire loved me. Liam would always have my back. Nothing could tear my family apart. Simple truths. Solid as stone. I didn't realize stones could crumble so easily when they're hollow inside. If life were a movie, that night would have been the turning point. The moment the soft, golden lighting dimmed just slightly, the moment the music in the background took on a minor key, the moment you don't notice until you look back and realize everything started crumbling there. It was a Thursday. I remember because Claire always worked late on Thursdays, or at least she said she did. That night, I was home alone, half watching a basketball game, half scrolling through my phone, not really paying attention to anything. The house was quiet except for the occasional squeak of the old ceiling fan and the muted noise from the TV. Claire texted me around 8 p.m. "Running a little late, babe. Big project at work. I'll grab some takeout on the way home. Love you." Normal, completely normal. I texted back a quick, "No worries. Love you too." Then went back to mindlessly thumbing through Instagram. Maybe if I hadn't been so bored, maybe if the game had been more interesting. Maybe if I had just gone to bed early like I planned, maybe then I wouldn't have noticed that Claire had left her tablet on the kitchen counter, screen still lit up. And maybe everything would still be whole. I didn't mean to look, I swear to God I didn't. But when you see a notification pop up, a new message from a name you don't recognize, curiosity taps you on the shoulder. The message preview read, "Can't wait to see you again. I miss you already." No heart emoji, no name signed at the bottom. Just those words dangling there like a baited hook. My stomach twisted into a knot. At first, I told myself it had to be innocent. A coworker joking around, a friend texting the wrong number. But even as I thought it, something cold slithered up my spine. I picked up the tablet. The screen was still unlocked. Claire had been scrolling through a messaging app, not the one we usually used. A private one I didn't even know she had installed. I opened the chat. The conversation was long, days, weeks. A secret world of jokes, flirting, private moments that had nothing to do with me. And it wasn't vague, it wasn't friendly. It was intimate, detailed, painfully real. Words that once belonged to us, little inside jokes, nicknames, plans whispered in the dark, were now being shared with someone else. I read message after message, each one cutting deeper than the last. I kept scrolling, desperate for a clue. Who was this man? There were no pictures, no obvious hints. Just endless text dripping with affection and heat and familiarity. At some point I realized I was shaking. The room felt too small, the air too thick. I wanted to throw the tablet against the wall, smash it into a million pieces, but I couldn't stop. I had to know. A few messages down, I found it. A reference to a restaurant, the Red Oak. Claire and I had been there once, ages ago. It was the kind of fancy, overpriced place you only go for special occasions. She had said she was going there for a work dinner 2 weeks ago, but in this thread, she had texted, "Can't wait to see you at Red Oak again." Last time was unforgettable, and the reply, "You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Don't worry, I'll always choose you over anyone else." I sat there, tablet trembling in my hands, trying to breathe through the dizzying wave of nausea. Claire had lied to me. While I was home thinking she was networking, she was wrapped up in someone else's arms, whispering promises that should have been mine. But it wasn't just the betrayal. It was the ease of it, the casualness, like it was just normal for her. I must have sat there for hours. At some point, I heard the garage door open. Claire's car pulling in. The soft jingle of her keys as she walked up the steps, the door creaking open. I snapped the tablet shut and shoved it under a cushion, heart hammering against my ribs. Claire walked in, smiling, holding 2 bags of takeout. "Hey babe," she chirped, kicking off her shoes. "I got Thai, figured you'd be starving." I forced a smile. Forced my legs to move, forced myself to act like I wasn't standing in the wreckage of our marriage. Dinner was a blur. She chatted about her day, about meetings, about deadlines, about clients. I nodded, laughed in the right places, asked the right questions, but inside, I was screaming. That night, lying next to her in bed, listening to her breathing slow and deepen as she drifted off, I stared at the ceiling. I could smell her shampoo, feel the warmth of her body next to mine, hear the tiny sigh she always made when she fell into deep sleep, all of it so familiar, all of it so wrong. Because now I knew, now I saw every kiss, every touch, every word through new eyes. A web of lies spun so carefully around me, and I had no idea who the spider was yet, but I was going to find out. I had to. You know that feeling when you're standing on solid ground, but suddenly the earth beneath you shifts? When everything you trusted, everything you knew, turns to smoke? That's what it felt like. The night I found Claire's messages was just the beginning. The real nightmare was still waiting for me. I spent the next few days pretending everything was normal, pretending I didn't feel like a stranger in my own home, pretending the woman I loved wasn't already halfway gone. I became obsessed. Not with Claire, not really, but with the truth. Who was he? The messages didn't name him. No photos, no obvious hints, just an endless string of sweet nothings and dirty secrets whispered through a glowing screen. On the outside, I was the same. I laughed at Claire's jokes. I kissed her goodbye every morning. I held her hand at dinner with my parents, but inside, I was unraveling. Rotting. I started checking her tablet whenever I could, whenever she showered, whenever she ran to the store, whenever she fell asleep before me. Every night, I pieced together scraps of their conversations, trying to stitch a face onto the ghost who was haunting my marriage. And slowly, little clues started bleeding through. There were mentions of places, restaurants Claire and I had never been to together, bars I didn't even know she liked. There were jokes, inside jokes, about things I didn't understand, references to memories that didn't belong to me. And then, one night, while scrolling through another endless thread of betrayal, I found it. A message from Claire. "You're way better at grilling than he is. Can't wait for another cookout soon." And the reply, "Ha ha ha, you know I always bring the heat, a cookout grilling." Something about it snagged in my mind, because 2 weeks earlier we had a family barbecue at my parents' house. Claire had been there. I had been there. Liam had been there. I remembered laughing, eating too much, tossing a football around the backyard with my nephews. I remembered Claire slipping away to help my mom with dessert for a long time. I remembered Liam disappearing for a while too. At the time, it didn't even register. Why would it? These were my people, my family. The memory clawed at me, wouldn't let go. Something was wrong. Something didn't fit. I tried to shove it down, tried to tell myself I was being paranoid, that my brain was desperately trying to fill in blanks with monsters, but the feeling wouldn't die. That's when I made the decision. If I wanted answers, I couldn't just sit around waiting for Claire to slip up. I needed to dig. I needed to know. First, I checked her phone bill online. It was something we had set up together when we first got married. One account, 2 lines. I hadn't thought twice about it before. Why would I? But now it was a gold mine. I pulled up the call logs, the text logs. Hundreds, no thousands, of messages to one number. A number I didn't recognize, calls at weird hours. Texts in the middle of the night, patterns obvious. Obscene. I copied the number down, and then with hands sweating so badly I could barely type, I punched it into a search engine. It wasn't listed under any name, no businesses, no spam reports. I tried a reverse lookup site, one of those shady ones that charge you a few bucks to scrape public records, and when the results loaded, my stomach dropped. Liam. It was Liam's number. For a long time, I just sat there staring at the screen, reading and rereading his name, as if somehow, if I looked long enough, it would change. Maybe it was a mistake, maybe it was someone else with the same name. Maybe it was a cruel joke, maybe, but deep down I knew. Memories started rushing back like a flood I couldn't hold back. Claire laughing too hard at Liam's dumb jokes, the way they always sat next to each other at dinners. The way they'd share a look across the room, a look I thought was just friendly. The way Liam hugged her a little too long sometimes. The The way she once came back from his house smelling like his cologne, and when I teased her about it, she just laughed and said, "He hugged me too hard, that's all." I had been blind. Willingly blind, because I never, not in a million years, would have suspected them. I stumbled to the bathroom and threw up. Over and over, until my throat burned and my stomach cramped and there was nothing left inside me but emptiness. I couldn't stay in that house. Not another second. I grabbed my keys, didn't even bother with a jacket, and drove. No destination. No plan, just away from the lies, from the betrayal, from the unbearable weight crushing my chest. I ended up at the old park we used to hang out at as kids. I sat on the swings like some broken shell of a man, staring up at the cold stars, wondering how the hell my life had gone so wrong so fast, how the two people I loved most, trusted most, could have gutted me without a second thought. I thought about confronting them right then and there, calling Claire, showing up at Liam's house screaming, fighting, burning it all to the ground, but something held me back. Some small, stubborn shred of dignity, some whisper of strategy. I needed more than just blind rage. I needed to know everything, so I waited, plotted, watched. In the days that followed, I became a ghost in my own life. I set up a tracking app on Claire's phone, one she didn't know about. I hacked into Liam's email and sloppy, lazy password. I collected screenshots, saved messages, built my case piece by piece like a prosecutor preparing for trial, and what I found made me sick all over again. They weren't just sleeping together. They were in love. At least they thought they were, long before Claire and I got married. Long before she ever said yes to my ring, they had been seeing each other, secretly, quietly, selfishly. When Liam met Melissa, they agreed to cool it, whatever the hell that meant. When I proposed to Claire, they decided it was too late to come clean, so they kept going, behind my back, behind Melissa's back. 2 marriages built on lies, 2 families built on sand. The worst part, there were plans to eventually figure things out, plans to be together someday, plans that involved me disappearing. Like I was some disposable prop in their stupid, selfish play, and the more I uncovered, the colder I became, numb, hollow, dead inside. I wasn't angry yet. Not really. I was something worse. I was patient. Patience is a strange thing when you're broken. It's not calm. It's not peace. It's a storm, trapped under glass, waiting, just waiting for the right moment to shatter everything. I started seeing everything differently. Every word Claire spoke was laced with poison I could taste. Every smile Liam gave was a dagger I felt twisting in my ribs, but I played the part. I smiled back. I kissed Claire goodnight. I clinked beers with Liam at family barbecues, because that's what you do when you're preparing for war. You let the enemy believe they've already won. One night, Claire suggested we have dinner with Liam and Melissa. Just the 4 of us, she said, twirling a strand of hair around her finger like she always did when she was nervous. I agreed, too eagerly maybe, but she didn't seem to notice. She smiled, that beautiful lying smile, and kissed my cheek. We went to a cozy Italian place downtown, the kind with checkered tablecloths and candles stuck into wine bottles. Melissa looked radiant that night, laughing easily, holding Liam's hand across the table like she had no idea she was clutching a snake. Claire sat next to me, her thigh pressed against mine under the table, a subtle, unconscious intimacy that made me want to flinch away. But I didn't. I leaned into it, played the loving husband. Played the fool. Halfway through dinner, Liam excused himself to take a call. Claire's eyes flicked toward him, a flicker so fast most people wouldn't have noticed. But I wasn't most people anymore. I saw it, the tiny twitch of anxiety, the desperate need for connection. When Liam came back, Claire smiled at him, just a little too brightly, just a little too softly. And Liam smiled back, a look passed between them, a look that stabbed straight through me. It wasn't longing, it wasn't lust, it was familiarity. The kind of familiarity that doesn't happen by accident. I wanted to grab my steak knife and drive it into the table between them, scream, expose everything, but I didn't because I had something better planned. A few days later, I took a personal day off work and started digging deeper. Claire had a girls' night planned with some friends. Liam was supposed to be working late. Perfect. I set up a camera hidden in the living room. Basic stuff, tiny, disguised as a smoke detector. Claire never noticed a thing. I pretended to leave for a late-night meeting, kissed her goodbye, whispered, "Have fun," and walked out the door. Then I parked 2 blocks away and waited. Hours passed, midnight came and went, nothing. I started to think maybe I was crazy after all. Maybe they weren't meeting tonight. Maybe Claire really was with her friends. But then 1:17 a.m., a car pulled up, not Claire's friends. Not Melissa. It was Liam. Of course it was. He let himself in with a key. A key. I didn't even know he had one. I watched from my car, heart hammering in my ears. I couldn't see inside the house, but I didn't have to. I already knew. The next morning, Claire acted like nothing had happened, smiling, stretching in bed, asking if I wanted pancakes. I said yes, because what else was there to say? That afternoon, when she went grocery shopping, I retrieved the footage. There they were, on my couch, in my home, touching, kissing, laughing, as if they belonged there. As if I was the ghost. Watching it felt like dying, not all at once, but slowly, cell by cell, piece by piece. It wasn't just the betrayal, it was the casualness, the comfort, the way Liam kissed her like he'd done it 1,000 times before, the way Claire curled into him like he was home. They didn't just cheat. They lived in the lie, thrived in it. I sat there for hours, watching and rewatching, letting it burn itself into my brain, because I needed to remember, needed to carry the pain with me, needed it to fuel what came next. I wasn't just going to leave. I wasn't just going to confront. No, that would be too easy, too clean, too merciful. I was going to destroy them, both of them. Piece by piece, the plan started taking shape almost on its own. It was simple, really. Use their arrogance against them. Use their love, their sick, twisted version of it, to pull them into the light, expose everything, rip away their lies like rotten wallpaper. I started setting the stage. Little comments dropped here and there. Hints about a big surprise I was planning for our anniversary, a special family gathering, a tribute to how far we've all come. Claire beamed. Liam joked. Melissa offered to help plan it. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. In the weeks leading up to it, I acted happier than ever, more affectionate, more thoughtful, more in love. Claire ate it up, so did Liam. Because people who live in lies always believe they're smarter than everyone else. They have to. Otherwise, they'd have to face what they are. The day of the surprise, I rented a private room at a nice restaurant, classy, respectable. I invited everyone, family, friends, even Claire's co-workers, everyone who mattered, everyone who could watch them fall. When they arrived, the room buzzed with excitement. Claire clung to my arm, beaming. Liam slapped my back, laughing. Melissa kissed his cheek, oblivious. I stood at the front of the room, glass of champagne in hand, heart pounding like a war drum. And then I spoke. I told everyone how grateful I was, how lucky I felt, how much I cherished the love and support in the room. I saw Claire tearing up. I saw Liam grinning proudly. Then I said it. That I had a video to show. A tribute, I called it, a walk down memory lane. The projector clicked on, the lights dimmed, and there on the giant screen for everyone to see was them, Claire and Liam, on my couch in my house. The room exploded, shouts, gasps. Melissa screaming, Claire slapping a hand over her mouth, Liam turning gray, stumbling backward. I stood there watching it all, feeling nothing, not anger, not satisfaction, just emptiness. Because the truth was, I had already lost everything the moment I picked up that tablet. This was just the burial. Claire sobbed, begged, pleaded. Liam tried to explain, tried to lie. Melissa slapped him so hard he nearly fell. My parents sat in stunned silence, horror etched into every line of their faces. And me, I simply walked out. No grand speech, no final words, just the sound of my footsteps leaving the wreckage behind. The next day I filed for divorce, cut Liam out of my life completely. Melissa did the same. The fallout was nuclear, families fractured, friendships ended. Lives burned to ash. And me, I survived. Barely, but I did, because sometimes surviving is the best revenge. Sometimes walking away from the people who tried to destroy you with your head held high is the loudest fucks you in the world. There's a moment after the worst has already happened when you realize you're free, not because the pain is gone. It's not, but because once you've been torn apart completely, there's nothing left to fear, nothing left to lose. And with nothing left to lose, you become dangerous. I spent the first few days after the reveal in a kind of fugue state. I barely slept. I barely ate. I just sat in my empty apartment, the one I moved into a day after I exposed Claire and Liam, staring at the walls, letting the silence press against me like a second skin. Friends called. Family texted. I ignored them all. What was there to say? Pity didn't interest me. Sympathy made me sick. I didn't want people telling me it wasn't my fault. I didn't want people trying to help. I wanted one thing, revenge, but not just any revenge. Not some sloppy, rage-fueled outburst that would make me look like a bitter ex-husband. No. If I was going to do this, it had to be perfect. Surgical, elegant. It had to leave scars they couldn't hide. Wounds that wouldn't heal, not just for Claire, not just for Liam, but for everyone who thought they could betray someone who loved them and get away with it. So I started planning, not overnight. Not with blind emotion, methodically, patiently. Like a general preparing for a war he intends not just to fight, but to win. Step 1, isolation. The first thing I had to do was isolate them. Claire and Liam had fed off each other for years. Their secret, their shared betrayal, it had created a sick kind of bond. I needed to sever that bond, cut them off from their support systems, from their comfort zones, and I knew exactly where to start. Melissa. God bless her. When she found out about Liam and Claire, she didn't just cry and throw things. She burned everything down. She packed her bags, took the kids, and moved across the country to her sister's place. Filed for divorce within 48 hours, blocked Liam on every possible platform, filed restraining orders, started posting cryptic but unmistakable things online about toxic relationships and trusting your gut. Perfect. One pillar of support, gone. Next, Claire's friends. Most of them were more my friends than hers to begin with. College buddies, work acquaintances, people who had celebrated our wedding, toasted our happiness. Once they saw the footage, once they realized how deeply Claire had lied to everyone, they dropped her like a hot grenade. Suddenly, the girl who had always been the life of the party wasn't invited anymore. Suddenly, the phone stopped ringing, the texts stopped coming. Her co-workers? Well, a few anonymous tips to HR, copies of her salacious messages with Liam, hints about inappropriate behavior on company property were enough to spark an internal review. Claire was suspended pending investigation. Last I heard, she resigned before they could fire her. Within a month, Claire and Liam were pariahs in the same city where they'd once been golden, where everyone had once admired their perfect lives. Now, whispers followed them everywhere they went. Homewreckers, liars, traitors, exactly as I intended. Pain is temporary. But money, or the lack of it, is a noose that tightens slowly, day by day. And I wasn't about to let them walk away from this with their shiny bank accounts intact. Claire had signed a prenuptial agreement when we married. She thought it was romantic, that I trusted her so much I didn't even ask for one. And she was right. Back then, I was stupid enough to believe in fairy tales, but now, that blind trust was my greatest weapon. Because with no prenup, Claire was exposed. I hired a shark of a divorce attorney. The kind of guy who made grown men cry in conference rooms, and we went to work. Every asset we shared, the house, the cars, the investments, became a battleground. I contested everything, fought for everything, dragged out the process, tied up every penny, made her spend money she didn't have on legal fees she couldn't afford. Meanwhile, Liam wasn't doing much better. Melissa's divorce lawyer was just as vicious. Plus, she demanded full custody of their kids, child support, alimony, the works. And since Liam's affair with Claire had been so very public, the judge didn't exactly look favorably on him. Within 6 months, they were both drowning, selling off possessions, begging family for loans, living paycheck to paycheck, the beautiful life they'd imagined together, gone. Ashes in the wind. This was my favorite part. The slow, insidious erosion of their minds. The way betrayal seeps into your bones and eats you from the inside out. I didn't have to do much, just nudge things along. Anonymous letters, little reminders slipped into their mailboxes, notes that said things like, "You deserve each other. Snakes always end up eating their own tails." Trust is a funny thing, isn't it? Nothing threatening. Nothing illegal, just enough to keep them looking over their shoulders, questioning each other. Questioning themselves, fake profiles on social media, following them, liking old photos, leaving cryptic comments, subtle, persistent, a constant drip of doubt, a whisper in the dark. Rumors spread like wildfire. Liam cheating on Claire, Claire flirting with old flames. None of it provable, all of it believable. Because when you've built your life on lies, it doesn't take much for it to collapse. I didn't even have to watch it happen. People told me, friends, co-workers, even strangers who loved a good bit of gossip. They said Claire and Liam fought all the time now. Screaming matches in parking lots, accusations hurled across crowded restaurants. They said Claire cried at work before she quit. They said Liam looked like he aged 10 years in 6 months. Good. Let them rot. Let them stew in the betrayal they created, because revenge isn't about rage, it's about patience. It's about knowing that while they sleep restlessly in the ruins they made, you're somewhere else, smiling, living. Free. Freedom doesn't feel the way you think it will. It's not fireworks. It's not some dramatic swelling of music as you walk into the sunset. It's quieter, slower. It creeps in, like dawn slipping through the cracks after a long, endless night. You barely notice it at first, until one day you realize you're breathing easier, standing taller, smiling without having to fake it. You realize the weight you carried, the betrayal, the anger, the heartbreak, isn't crushing you anymore. It's still there, sure, but it's lighter, manageable. Just a scar now, a reminder of the battle you survived. The first real moment of peace came 6 months after I walked out of that restaurant. I was standing on the balcony of my new apartment, coffee in hand, watching the city wake up below me. And for the first time in longer than I could remember, I wasn't thinking about Claire or Liam or the life I lost. I was thinking about the life I was building. It wasn't glamorous. Small apartment, secondhand furniture, a job that didn't pay nearly enough. But it was mine. Every choice, every mistake, every triumph, mine, no lies. No betrayal, just me. I started doing little things to reclaim myself. Went back to the gym, picked up old hobbies I had abandoned, photography, hiking, writing. I even took a cooking class just for the hell of it. Not that I got any better at it, but hey, progress is progress. More importantly, I started rebuilding my trust, not in other people, but in myself, my instincts, my judgment. I wasn't naive anymore, I wasn't blind, but I wasn't bitter either. Because if I stayed bitter, if I let them steal that from me too, then they would win all over again. And I refused to give them that. I reconnected with friends I had drifted from, Made new ones too, real ones. People who didn't know me as the guy who got betrayed, but just as Nate, the guy who told terrible jokes, got way too competitive at trivia nights, and always showed up when he said he would. Love, I wasn't ready for that yet, and that was okay. I learned to be enough for myself, learned to enjoy my own company, learned that happiness isn't something you find in someone else's arms. It's something you build piece by piece inside your own damn chest. I heard about Claire and Liam now and then, from mutual acquaintances, from the occasional gossip thread. They didn't last. Surprise, surprise. Turns out, relationships built on betrayal don't exactly thrive when the spotlight turns harsh. They tried to make it work, moved in together, even talked about eloping, but the trust wasn't there. It never could be, because how can you ever trust the person who helped you destroy someone else? Rumor has it Claire cheated on Liam eventually. Rumor has it Liam tried to drink the guilt away. Rumor has it they both lost each other, themselves, everything, and me. I won, not because I hurt them, not because I destroyed their lives, but because I lived, because I kept living. Pain changes you. Betrayal scars you, but survival makes you stronger than you ever thought possible. It burns away the weakness, sharpens you, makes you fearless. I don't hate them anymore. I don't think about them much at all. They're just a story now. A chapter in a book I'm still writing, a lesson etched into my bones. Life's funny like that. It breaks you, molds you, and if you're lucky, rebuilds you into something fiercer, something wiser, something unbreakable. So if you're going through it right now, if someone ripped your heart out and left you bleeding, let me tell you this, it's not the end. It's just the beginning. The pain won't last. The rage will fade, and one day, maybe sooner than you think, you'll wake up, stretch, sip your coffee, and realize you survived, and that's the sweetest revenge of all. If you found something real in this story, if you felt even a flicker of strength, of hope, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We share true stories of survival, betrayal, and ultimate redemption, because life might knock us down, but here, we always stand back up. Hit that subscribe button, join the family, let's keep writing better endings together.